Welcome and thank you for practicing today. Today we'll work on gaining a new perspective on our mat. Each day when we come to the mat, we explore our breath, we explore new postures. And I was thinking about how it takes a new perspective every time you come to the yoga mat. And I was painfully aware of this lesson when the other day I lost my keys, or they dropped out of my bag into a pile of leaves. And I wasn't aware of it at the time, so I came back and looked for the keys and stood in this one location and shuffled the keys. And it wasn't until my partner came to look at different perspectives, just at different angles that I was looking at, to see if he could find a glimmer of the metal of the keys. And fortunately, he did. And we found the keys, and we were so delighted and spoke about how a different perspective makes such a difference in life, in looking for keys on the yoga mat. You need to step back and look at things from a different angle, a different way of being. So come to a comfortable seated position on your mat and just close your eyes and see if you can have a slightly different perspective on the breath. Create a fullness of the in-breath as you draw the breath in through the nose, a fullness of the out-breath as you draw the breath out. Today we'll be working on poses that are pretty familiar to everyone, and we'll be working on the action of drawing into that which we know so that we can expand our perspective so much more. So continue the breath work, continue to find the fullness in the breath work. Now come to a standing pose, Tadasana. At the front of the mat, look down at your feet and spread the toes to engage the legs. And then release the toes down to the earth, but keep that engagement of the legs. Draw the legs isometrically in toward each other so we can become so much more expansive in our Tadasana. As you draw from the pelvis down to the earth, that earthy quality allows you to extend from the pelvis up to the crown of the head even more so. And just delight in your breath. On the next in-breath, lift your arms up to the sky. And on the exhale breath, let the arms just drift halfway down with the palms lifted. Extend now the right arm forward, the left arm back to give yourself a little twist. And inhale, draw into the midline as you lift your arms up. And then exhale and twist to the opposite side, and then expand the arms very wide. Inhale, lift the arms up to Ardha Chandrasana, and let's do that again. Twisting, expand the arms out to the side, and inhale, lift the arms up, come back to center, and do it again. Reach the arms wide. And on the next in-breath, lift your arms up, come back to center, and then exhale, release the hands down in Tadasana. On your next in-breath, with the eyes bright, lift your arms up to the sky and take the hands just slightly wider apart than your shoulders with your fingers spreading, and that engagement of the arms as you draw from the fingertips down toward the pelvis. Expand from the pelvis out through the crown of the head and the fingertips as you reach the hands halfway back to reveal the fullness of your heart. And then exhale, breath, come all the way down to the floor in Uttanasana. On the in-breath, let the legs support the side body as you lengthen and look forward. On the exhale breath, to soften down. On the in-breath, with wide arms, reach all the way up. And then exhale breath, take the arms back to Tadasana. One more cycle, same thing. In breath, reach the arms up in Ardha Chandrasana. Keep the engagement of the arms by drawing from the fingers to the pelvis. And now expand out so radically from the pelvis to the crown of the head and out through the fingertips as you reach your hands back to open the heart. Just enjoy the fullness of the front body. And then exhale breath, same thing. Come down in the forward fold. And then inhale breath, support the spine. Lift halfway up with the hands at the shin bones if you like. Exhale breath, be soft in Uttanasana. Inhale breath, reach the arms all the way up. And then exhale breath, take the arms to the side. On the next inhale breath, reach up again. And then exhale, come down, take the arms down to the earth. Place the hands alongside the feet and walk, step, or jump to downward facing dog. In downward facing dog, enjoy your breath. Have the hands stay very strong with the fingers spreading, and from the foundation of the arms, draw in from the fingertips now to your heart. Draw in with the feet very strong, the toes spreading. Draw in from the heels all the way to the heart, and then expand from the heart to the heels. Lift your heels high, and then draw the heels over toward the right side of the mat to stretch through the left ribs. And then inhale, lift your heels high again, and take your heels over to the opposite side. Just lengthening through the right side. Come back to center. And then stay in your downward dog by clawing the earth very fully. On your next inhale breath, reach the right leg straight back. Get a nice line of energy in this three-legged dog. And then release the right foot and take the left leg straight back. Once again, get this nice line of energy. And then release down. Come down to hands and knees. Enjoy your breath in hands and knees. And then on the next inhale breath, lift back up, come to downward facing dog. Once again, let's do that same cycle. Reach your right leg straight back in this three-legged dog and enjoy the length of the side body as you do. And then release the leg down and do the other side. Extend the left leg back from the hands pressing into the earth. Reach the left heel way back and then release the foot down. Come back to hands and knees. Now lift up again in downward facing dog and walk your feet all the way up to the hands. Take the hands at the hips. Scoop the tailbone and then lift yourself up. Take a wide stance now. Take a wide stance, and in this wide stance, take the right toes toward the front of the mat and have the left foot parallel to the short edge of the mat. Bend the right knee. And if you have a block, this might be a great time to use the block as you take the right hand down to the block And then extend the left arm up and reach it over your head, so that you get this nice line of energy from the pelvis all the way to the fingertips. And then root down through the back leg to inhale and rise up. Turn your right toes in, your left toes out, and bend the left knee so that it comes almost to square. And expand the arms. Lift the arms up in Virabhadrasana 2, and then take the hand down either to the floor or to the block. And I like working with the block in Parsvakonasana to lift the underside ribs. So it's a yogi's choice, totally. But you can keep the hand at the block as you hug the legs in toward each other. You draw into that power so that you can discover and reveal so many different perspectives of the pose, so much more length of the underside body, for example, as you lift the arm up and over the head, and then root down and hug in to gain the strength in the legs first before lifting yourself all the way up. And draw to the other side so that the right toes are out. Lift your arms up so they're parallel to the mat. Engage the arms, engage the legs. And on the exhale breath, take the right hand down to your shin or to that block if you like. Take the left hand to the waist. Now, draw the head of the arm bone way back in space so that you get this new perspective. You open the chest. You open so fully to possibilities here. And then, if you'd like, you can extend the arm up to come to Utthita Trikonasana. Maintain the strength in the legs. Draw in. Draw the feet isometrically in toward each other so that you can expand so fully from the pelvis down to the earth and from the pelvis out through the fingertips. On the next in-breath, with the back foot so rooted, inhale to rise up out of the pose. And then trade sides here. So have the left toes turn out. And come to the form of the pose that works for you with the left hand down to the shin bone. Once again, take the right hand to the waist. Take the head of the arm bone back to reveal the underside ribs so fully, with the underside ribs lifting up toward the sky. Then you can expand once again. You can lift the arm up so fully in triangle pose, and then root down through the back heel to inhale and rise up out of the pose. Good. Release the hands, and let's try going to the other side again. So let's go to the right side again and bend your right knee. Have the right thigh almost parallel to the mat and lift the arms up in Virabhadrasana number 2. Arms are almost parallel to the earth. And then come down either to the block or to the floor with the right hand. Have the left hand now come to the waist and lift the underside ribs. Draw in to your power so that you can gain a new perspective as you lift the underside ribs up. Keep the left hand to the sacrum and then step the back foot in halfway. And then as you carry the right hand forward, just a foot or so off the baby toe side, then lift up the back leg. So you come to Ardha Chandrasana. Enjoy the pose. Enjoy the fullness of the pose as you continue to draw the head of the arm bone back with the right hand pressing firmly to the floor. You draw into your power in the pose by hugging the legs isometrically in toward each other. And then, as you draw into your power, you can gain a new perspective, a new fullness in the pose as you lift up your arm, lift up your leg even more. And on the exhale breath, now let's come out of the pose. Bend the knee, come back through Parsvakonasana, and from the power of the back leg, inhale to rise up and out of the pose. Excellent. Try that on the other side. So draw the left toes toward the left side of the mat. Good. Bend the knee. And have the left side parallel. Come to Parsvakonasana again. And then take the hand down to the block or to the earth. Take the lifted right hand to the waist. Step in. Reach the hand just a little bit further away from the baby toe side of the foot. And then as you're ready, lift up to Ardha Chandrasana. From this perspective, from this balancing pose, see how you can maintain this drawing in to expand out perspective. Draw the power of the legs, even though the leg is lifted. Draw the legs isometrically toward each other. The head of the arm bone draws back, and as you root down from the pelvis to the earth, you can expand out from the pelvis to the crown of the head and out through the fingertips in the fullness of your pose. And then slowly release back to Parsvakonasana. And then lift up and out of the pose, come to Tadasana. And now let's take a seated position. Sit in Dandasana. Just like Tadasana, Dandasana is such a nice neutral pose for the seated poses with your feet extending forward, your toes very engaged. Press down through your fingertips so that you can gain this nice length. So the inner big toes are pressing one another, and exaggerate this action of drawing the legs in toward each other. That will help bring the thigh bones back. Keep this energetic engagement of the legs so that you feel that the back sides of the legs are making more of an imprint on your mat. Now on your next inhale breath, reach your arms up to the sky and then bow forward just slightly. Keep the arms lined up with the ears, and as you reach forward, almost like you're trying to grab someone in front of you, you're trying to just reach. As you extend towards someone's outstretched arms, you get so much length. Keep the back sides of the thighs firmly planted. Keep the legs engaged. And then inhale, rise up out of the pose. Come back to Dandasana. And now in a seated position, just fold the left leg and hug the right thigh in toward the ribs and see about turning the shin bone so it's parallel to the short edge of the mat. And just cradle the right foot in the left hand, or if you can, see about cradling the arch of the foot into the eye of the elbow. So take a moment here with the arms just cradling the shin bones and just kind of move side to side. Move the shin bone as gracefully and as carefully as if you were just cradling a nice baby. So we're doing this to help open our hips a little bit more. So we can do that by lifting the foot just a little bit higher and encouraging the knee, the right knee, to move away from our ribs as we bring the ankle just a little bit closer to get just a little different perspective here on the pose. Sit tall in the pose and sit slightly more forward as you continue that sort of easy rocking action in the pose. And then release the foot down. Just have the leg rest softly on the earth. And take the left leg, bend the knee and draw the thigh in toward the ribs, and then just turn the foot so that you can cradle the leg again. So draw the shin bone as parallel as you can get it to the earth. Have your toes active, and again, notice how you get a totally different perspective with each side of the body. Draw the ankle in toward the heart, but let the knee draw away from the ribs. Encourage the opening of the hip by just moving very softly. Don't rock the baby too rapidly. If after rocking side to side a few cycles you find that you can go to a deeper expression by taking the arched foot right into the eye of the elbow, please do that. And if you could take the knee into the eye of the left elbow, please do that. And just kind of move softly. And again, the same action, we're trying to move the knee. Just imagine that it's drawing away from your side ribs while the ankle is moving just directly toward the heart. Shin bone stays lifted, the toes stay active, and just kind of soften the breath as you continue this movement. Now, with the left leg down, have the right foot come to the outside of the left thigh, and we'll come to Ardha Chandrasana here. So with the right knee lifted, let the knee drift toward the heart. It wants to drift away from your spine, but see if you can draw it towards you, and take the left hand to the outside of the knee, or some of you might be able to take the elbow to the outside of the knee. Find out which perspective you like to go into this twist by first rooting down through the right hand. Take the right hand behind the lumbar spine, behind the buttocks. Press the fingertips into the earth. Gain more length. And just notice how you shift your perspective on even the foundation. With the back hand working hard right next to the buttocks, you can softly draw more to the front part of the sit bones, which shifts the curve in the lumbar spine just slightly. Keep that. Take the head of the arm bones back. You can have the left hand just give this nice high five sign, or take the armpit to the outside of the knee. Come to the form of the twist in Ardha Chandrasana that works for you today. I often like to just take more weight over to my left sit bone because it's naturally there anyway, and then just try to drift the right sit bone into its place. Just these subtle differences in the foundation create such a different perspective on this pose. And then release out of this pose. Good. And trade sides. Take the right leg down and take the left foot to the outside of the right thigh. Hug the knee in. And then as you begin the twist, take the hand to the outside of the knee. Take the left hand behind you, press down into the earth with the left hand. And as you do, just kind of rock slightly forward on your sit bones to enjoy this nice curve in the spine. That will elongate the spine. Once again, hug in with the inner thigh, hugging in toward the ribs. The more you draw in, the more you can expand so fully. It helps you gain a different perspective on this opposite side of the pose. Again, whichever arm position works for you today. Elbow to the outside of the knee, armpit to the outside of the knee, even binding if that works for you. Please try that. And in this twist, sometimes to gain a different perspective, I like to close my eyes. It allows me to discover a new aspect of the inner landscape of my being. To find fullness in an area, or to find the opposite, to find contractedness in an area, and then bring the breath to just enhance the pose even more. And slowly come out of the twist. Now, lie on your back, bend your knees, and plant your feet. Now take your right ankle to the top of the left knee and interlace your fingers behind the left thigh. Lift the left foot up off the earth. Keep the heads of the arm bones drawing back. And just like we did in baby cradle pose, the same action, even though the knee is supporting your ankle, drawing in toward your heart, see if you can do that action by yourself. Just draw the ankle in as you encourage the knee to draw slightly wider away. And now trade sides. First, come with both feet on the earth and see what it is to have a neutral spine, that is, with the low back not pressing against the earth. Try to come slightly toward the sit bones to get a nice curve. And then as you take the left foot to the top of the thigh, you'll notice that it's a little hard to maintain that curve. So try to come back to that place where you're not pressing the low back so fully into the mat. Interlace your fingers now behind the right thigh and engage the toes of the right leg. So you actually feel with the interlaced fingers right at the belly of the hamstrings. You feel just through the engagement of the toes of the right foot, you feel the engagement of the hamstrings. That enables you to get a little bit more control, a little bit different perspective on taking the left knee just slightly wider. And now slowly come out of the pose and just rest with both feet on the floor. We'll now prepare for Shavasana by doing whatever movement enhances and relaxes your spine. Happy baby is a nice pose to do, rocking side to side. Now you can either lie in Shavasana or come to sit in a meditative posture. Whichever posture you choose, see how the breath can help elongate the spine. How the breath can bring greater awareness, a new perspective even, on your inner being. Enjoy the breath. Enjoy your breath. Create more fullness in the breath. And if you're not already in the seated meditation posture, please come to that posture. Today we worked on gaining a new perspective by first drawing in to that which we know, and then expanding so fully to discover new areas, new aspects of the poses, the same poses that we've been doing, some of us for many years. We do this practice so that off the mat, just like our practice on the mat, we can always make room for that new perspective. Let's take our hands in front of the heart. Draw the breath in. And out. May you always encourage others, encourage the self in this new perspective. Namaste.